Good morning, my little darlings. This is Grandma. These ceramics were done by a friend of mine many decades ago. A beautiful African-American woman. And this is Ma, Grandpa, and Grandma sitting on the porch. Grandma's knitting. Grandpa's making a bird cage. I call this the good old days. Probably the children are grown. Probably have moved north. Maybe they live in the south. They don't have to worry like the people in Chicago who can't sit on their porch. They were very contented. I'm sure Ma and Pa had their disagreements, but they stayed together. I don't think Grandma was shacking with Grandpa. I think every baby that Grandma had, most likely it was Grandpa's. Grandma wasn't up in court telling Grandpa, pay me my money. And they didn't even have birth control then. Sometimes in this day, women had 20 children or more. They lived on a farm, so all the children, like the guy who said life is so good, had to get up very early in the morning, and everybody just would work from can't see in the morning to can't see at night. I miss these good old days. I mean, they were ahead of me because I was born in 1942. But I'm talking about these people who were born around the late 18th century. They knew how to stay in their place so they would lose their lives. Our little thugs now just coming up on anybody. And that's why they're dying. Chicago is pathetic. I saw where President Obama told Syria that he was not going to tolerate them using chemical weapons against the Syrian people. I wonder how come every time we elect a president, that president is more interested in Israel, Palestine, Afghanistan, Iraq. Well, I'm not so stupid. I do know that the opium is a big seller in Afghanistan. Too bad our beautiful men have to go get their limbs blown off and pay the ultimate sacrifice of their lives. Oh, the good old days. Of course, it wasn't so good for us who had to be lynched. It wasn't so good for Grandma who's trying to work in the home. You saw the movie The Help. And she was being attacked and raped by the man in the house, and in some cases, the woman in the house. So, people, don't forget the past, where we came from. And they want to throw us all onto Africa. I want to tell you, I don't care how light you are or how dark you are, Africa runs in your veins. It was a lady who told me, no, my family, Norwegian, so and so and so on. Shut up. Everybody originated in Africa. They've been going back trying to check out how far we came from, where did we come from. We weren't in caves. We were taking care of ourselves. I mean, you wonder, where did she get all this knowledge from? I get all this knowledge from reading and researching. And when I was little, we didn't have the internet. I had to take my little behind and walk to the nearby library when my mother gave me permission to do that. I had to be back before the street lights came on. The library was a beautiful place. Even in our ghetto neighborhood, the library was a place of just a beautiful, beautiful place to go with all the books. Because in my home, I was raised by elderly people. There was one book, and I guess that's why I travel so much. It was a great big atlas. So I really love traveling. That's what I would sit and watch that atlas, look at that pictures of the atlas. Then another neighbor, she used to subscribe to National Geographic. And I'm going to be honest with you, we were bad. We'd be looking for the women in Africa that didn't have tops on. It was so funny. Kids are so funny. We were so innocent. In fact, we were going into the drawer in one place and we found some balloons. Well, we thought they were balloons, but they were condoms. And we were just blowing them up. And I remember the lady grabbing them from us. And I remember the other lady said, well, were they used? And we didn't know what they were talking about. They just took our balloons away from us. So maybe some of you guys need to be using those balloons, aka what you call them, Jimmy caps, so you can stop having all these babies, because there's no jobs for you. You have been replaced. You have been replaced. They can get cheaper labor from Mexico, Central America, South America. And if they can bring them in here for cheap labor, and then they can also send labor, send our jobs overseas. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want those jobs at the Apple factory in China if it means I've got to go up to the top floor and they got netting all around the place so I don't jump out the window and commit suicide. Yeah, check that out. Remember I told you, go to Al Jazeera. It's on one of my tapes. And see what's happening in the world. You know, they always want to say go back to Africa. Africa is the seed, the site of civilization. Africa had all the diamonds, the riches, the animals. What happened is the chiefs, yeah, they would fight among each other just like Europeans fought against each other. The chief would just take the money and spend it on himself. Not all chiefs, but some did. What I think about now is Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. I've got a lot of Zimbabwe pen pals. Zimbabwe's in Africa, as you know. It used to be called Rhodesia. That man started off really good in 1980 when they got their independence from England. All of a sudden now, the Zimbabweans are suffering. They are suffering. Spain is suffering. Greece is suffering. We in America are suffering. If you want to know how our future is going to be, I heard they're getting ready to change the dollar bill. They want to change it to a coin. Yeah, like that really worked well with Sacagawea and Susan B. Anthony. Forget it. Talking about they can save billions. Well, they're printing money that's not worth anything anyway. So all I want to tell you is, little darlings, love one another. Don't fight among yourselves. Stop killing each other so ma, pa, grandchildren can sit around on the porch like we used to do. You laugh when I tell you it would be so hot sometimes. We didn't have air conditioning. Did we all just take a blanket and sleep out in the park? Lots of families were in the park. What happened to those days? I do believe drugs is the main thing, because some of these young men now, they are crack babies. And it's just like a monster has been turned loose on Chicago, and they've put guns in these monsters' hands. But oh God, let this football player kill his girlfriend. That is worth more than the almost 500 lives that have been lost in Chicago. So I know the ones who are doing the killings not going to pay attention to me. But we're all going to be killed. Just for the actions of the retarded, the sick among us. If you think I'm lying and you don't know what I'm talking about, go search Chicago killings. And yes, it's not just going on in Chicago, but like I say, I try to take care and pay attention to what's next to me. My mother used to say, charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. Look like the people in Washington could understand that. Washington, you have a big problem in your American cities. You talking about going over the cliff? Everybody's going when the wagon comes. We're all going to go over the cliffs. And you guys who are running down the street, got your guns and killing people, your day's coming. Because I've talked to God, God has talked to me, and he says, Judy, don't worry about it. I got this. And we're going to almost like freeze in terror when God, you've seen the different things that happen, the hurricanes and things like that. God has the best arsenal. The best arsenal. Don't play with him. Okay, have a good day.